And welcome to another episode of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. I'm thrilled for this episode tonight. I don't know if it'll go well, but I am thrilled to do it. Before we get to that, I just a little tease off the top. Before we get to that, if you're new to the show, first of all, welcome. I'm so happy that this is the episode you decided to click on. I feel like this, more than a lot of the episodes, tried to make a little clickbaity, because this is more of a clickbait theme, I think. So I'm glad I tricked you. Please stick around and watch the fun show that we're about to do. Also, if you like what you're seeing, you should go over to the Facebook page. If you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description of this video, that's where you can see everything about this show, including how to be a part of it. I love having new people on the show. That's one of the big places I book the show from, either there or Instagram and Twitter at IMDb Game. You can go to any of those and see the list of upcoming shows this month, all of the dates, all of the themes. And there's a few shows left in October that are going to be real fun that we still have a spot or two available on. So if you want to be a part of any of those, please go to any of those places, look at the list. If you're interested, send me a DM. And also, let your friends know if you think they might be interested. We're going to just keep building this, keep pushing it out. And I'm eventually going to run out of themes, I think, as you can tell by tonight's episode. We're doing movies that have sequels that you might not know about. This just sort of came from looking at hundreds of movies and realizing how many of them had sequels I didn't know about. We are guessing just the original movies. I don't expect you to know what the sequel is. Some of these you'll know. I know some of you. I know, Sammie might know a lot of these horror sequels that are a little more obscure. I based on what I thought was obscure.
We've learned I don't know what year movies come out, so no, I won't.
For example, a movie that sort of inspired this, I'm not going to do because I don't want to do this director's movies. But there is a sequel to Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, there is. Yep.
About the adult version of Rosemary's Baby dealing with the fact that he might be a disappointment to the devil. And it's called Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. And that to me is just, it's wonderful. So this is a list.
The book is called Son of Rosemary.
That makes more sense than Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Also, this is a list. I had to get rid of a lot of movies because all of you have played a lot at this point. So I'm going to throw some examples. Like there's a sequel to The Jerk. Called The Jerk 2, TOO. There's a sequel to Splash called Splash 2, TOO. There's
I need to get on that.
There's also the classic Teen Wolf 2, TOO. And it got me wondering, what is the best sequel that has TOO in it? And the best I could come up with is Look Who's Talking 2. I don't know if anybody has any ideas on that.
Who's talking to Rosemary's Baby?
What's going on?
Just one. Oh.
This time the baby's talking and it's the spawn of Satan.
But it's still voiced by Bruce Willis.
I think I've really over-explained this topic, so I think we should jump in and see what movies we have on this list. Joining me on the show tonight are Conor Shanahan, JD Stephans, Elsie Clark, and Sammie James. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I will start speaking to you individually with somebody that if you watched the last episode of this show, we did Mean Girls movies with the cast of Mean Girls. You might have seen the first guest I'm introducing on that show, as well as over 30 other episodes. Sammie James returns to the show.
Why have I done this?
That is a very good question. Thrilled to have you back, as always. How you doing tonight?
I'll never stop.
Now, I feel like I don't know if you'll know all of these, but I feel like in this section where I ask for recommendations, you might have a fun one. Can you recommend a sequel you think people might not know even exists?
Okay, might not know exists. I thought you were just gonna say like, what's the sequel you like? So I'm gonna give both of those answers.
All right, fine. Yeah, everybody give whatever answers you want.
And I feel like now it's gotten a little bit more recognition. But the Omen is actually a trilogy of movies.
What?
And you don't need to watch the third one. But I would suggest you give Damien the Omen 2 a look. Yeah, and it's been a while since I've seen it. Like, Nick's face is telling me maybe there's something in there.
No, my face is saying, I'm pretty sure there's a fourth one.
Oh. No, they made a remake.
There's one with, like, a girl.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You thinking of the Bad Seed? Because that's...
No, not the Bad Seed. I'm thinking of, it's like the Omen Legacy or something.
Oh, well,
it came out after the Sam Neill, the Omen.
Yeah. Which, like, you don't need to watch that one. But no, the Damien the Omen 2, I remember really enjoying. And then bullshit fun answer. Everyone knows it exists, if they have taste. What you're gonna do is you're going to look, it's on a streaming service somewhere. You're going to look for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, the best sequel ever made.
Go Ninja. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I rewatched or watched for the first time recently these movies. I can't remember what I watched as a kid. But that one was a highlight of a series that I really didn't like as much as I was hoping for. But yeah, that's a fun one. Good choices. And I should check out this. I haven't seen, if I'm being honest, I haven't seen the first Omen either. Like, that is one that I really should have seen by now.
Yeah. Omen 2, also pretty queer. There's some queer subtext there, okay?
Sidebar. Have you watched the series on Shudder yet? The history of queer horror, or
I watched the first episode, yeah.
How is that?
I was surprised. Listen, I don't know how it's going to be, but the first episode worth a watch.
I gotta check it out.
They start with the queer fundamentals, the history, they go into Mary Shelley being bi, okay? So the first episode worth a watch. I don't trust them once they get into the 80s, or honestly, I don't trust them now that they're in film.
That is fair. I'm gonna check it out at some point. I just saw the ad for it. And yet 1991, Omen for the Awakening is a Canadian made-for-television fourth and final installment. So yeah, you just learned that the Omen is a quadrilogy on this show. That's I don't know, something. That's
I'm
trivia.
gonna watch it.
Well, Sammie, welcome back. Also returning to the show tonight, if you saw Monday's episode where we talked about Mean Girls, you might have seen the next contestant on that show. As you've seen on almost, I think, are you up to 10 episodes yet on this show? This is 9. This is 9 for you. A new favorite addition to the show. JD Stephans returns. Hello, JD.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm pretty sure we're going to do terrible today, so we're not even trying for good, Nick. We're just... We're here. We're here, Nick.
That's all I ask. I know that this is a bigger question, so I'll give you the Sammie option. If you want to recommend a sequel you think people might not know about, great. Or if you just want to recommend a sequel you think people should watch.
Okay. A sequel that people don't know about. That's good, that I would recommend.
Doesn't have to. Just you think people should see it. It doesn't have to be good.
Okay, so hear me out. Just hear me out, okay?
Okay.
I have a reason for this, I promise.
I am hearing you out.
So there was a movie called Air Bud.
Yes.
And several movies later, we now have something called like Snow Buddies.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying you can put golden retriever puppies on your screen for the entire duration of the movie. And I think that's an America I want to live in, Nick.
So of the Buddies films, of which I think there are 10, Snow Buddies is the one to go to, according to you. Oh, perfect. Wonderful choice. Also, I just thought of this as we were talking. It also won't come up because we talked about it recently. Mean Girls has a sequel. That would qualify for this list. I don't think anybody's ever seen it, but it does exist.
What?
Don't judge me, but I saw 10 whole minutes of this once. I was dog sitting. I turned on the TV. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Was it good?
No.
The dog was like, leave it on, it gets good. Hold on.
Well, JD, welcome back. Also returning to the show, I'm going to call him a returning champion. If you saw last week, he absolutely destroyed black and white movies in a way that sort of feels bad to the other people, but I love how good at this game he is. Really just one of my favorite people to have on this show. Conor Shanahan returns. Hello, Conor.
Hello, Nick. Thanks for staying. That's very nice. It's nice to be here. Hello, everyone. Sadie, get up here, will you? I've thought about this while you were asking. I don't really know if I have a good recommend a movie that people should see. One that jumped into my head, and I actually have never seen it, but I think it's one of those movies that people may not know has a sequel. And I'm hesitant to say because maybe it will come up, but is Chinatown. And Jack Nicholson directed the two Jakes in like the early 90s, and it's a continuation of that story, and it's probably pretty awful. Nick, I feel like you've seen it.
I have not. I haven't seen either. Okay. And I will say, you're safe for the same reason we're not going to talk about Rosemary's Baby anymore.
Oh,
tonight.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But two Jakes. Roman Polanski.
Oh. Oh,
everybody's
that's
favorite.
Funny because at the end, it's like, oh, forget about that old dude raping that girl, Jake.
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Right. But can you separate the art from the artist?
I mean,
the script can apparently, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because we were talking about Prey and Predator movies, and now we're talking about Roman Polanski. There you go. I'm going to do terribly tonight, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's great to be here. And yes.
Always great to have you.
Thanks,
Finally, returning tonight. Just, again, one of my favorite people. Always thrilled when they're on. Elsie Clark returning to the show. Hello, Elsie.
Hello. It's so wonderful to be back.
So wonderful to have you. So you've had plenty of time to think about the answer to these questions. Did you come up with anything?
Okay, well, as I have probably mentioned maybe even more than once on this show, my favorite Christmas movie is a sequel. It is Home Alone 2, TOO, Lost in New York. And I was surprised to see it on a list of bad sequels. Sometime in the past year, and they're like, oh, they just took the same premise and applied it to a different city. And I'm like, And
I mean, it's top 3 of that series.
Oh,
There are at least 5 Home Alone movies.
Oh, really?
Speaking of movies that you might not know exist, Home Alone 4, one of the Wet Bandits comes back, but Joe Pesci's character is now played by French Stewart.
Okay, I feel like I've seen gifs of that, even if I didn't know that it existed itself.
And then the 5th one has Malcolm McDowell, and it's called Home Alone Holiday Heist, which I like because it lets you know that it's set during Christmas.
Hold on a second. French Stewart is flat out playing Joe Pesci's character.
He sure is. And Daniel Stern is gone. Now he has a woman who played by Missy Pyle, his like fiance or something.
Wait, but they're still Harry. Okay, all right.
And I think Kevin's parents have gotten divorced now, so it's just.
I mean that makes. Yeah.
I mean, you never really see them together in the movies because okay, I guess like the dad makes the mom ride back in the back of a fucking tractor trailer. And like, okay, it's great that she happens to fall in with this good time polka band of totally like chill, respectful dudes.
Thank God John Candy was there.
But like,
yeah, he kept him
I could see that being an issue. And then I felt like I had another, like a sequel in mind that was maybe a joke answer. Oh no, actually, you posted a poll in the Facebook group some weeks ago that was like, which of these extra bad and poorly grossing movies, or like which of these least seen ever movies have you seen? And one of them was Problem Child 2.
Yes.
And I discovered that movie, you know, like my brother and I discovered that movie after it had been on VHS for a while, but like just at the perfect age to love those movies and think those jokes were just fucking great. There's a real long vomit scene on a tilt-a-whirl. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if there's one thing I learned, just, you know, I've never seen them. At this point, the most I know is what I've read through the Parents Guide of IMDb. A lot of bodily excrement in these movies.
Oh yeah.
Real visceral movies. You know what? You should go see the Hostel movies. I think you can if you can handle Problem Child 2, you can handle Hostel 2.
I mean, I don't want to handle it though. I don't mind some torture if there's like a little bit more behind it, but everyone's reaction when I was like, "Oh, the Hostel movies are available for Huluween," and everyone was like, "Nah, don't." That lets me know. The other 2 movies on my list are Oculus and Swim Fan. If anyone has opinions,
Oculus is amazing.
Oculus all the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful movie.
Same feelings about Swim Fan? Or... All right.
Has anybody seen Swim Fan in here? Sammie? Yeah. Sammie, you want to talk about Swim Fan for half a second? All right, great.
Can I briefly just say that the neighbor, the shoveler in Home Alone, is 100% a serial killer, and we are ready for that movie to be made now. You know, maybe
I love that.
That's why Kevin's not in the rest of them.
Oh, speaking of, I feel like this is on Hulu, but I can't remember. Becky came out a couple of years ago.
Okay.
It is Joel McHale's in it. Don't let that keep you from watching the movie. But Kevin James plays like a neo-Nazi who goes to this family who's just like vacationing in a cabin in the woods and like kidnaps them, and they need a hideout. And this little girl who's like 12 or 13 fucking brutalizes them. It is the most brutal version of Home Alone. It is fantastic.
Nice.
It's Kevin James's best work.
Okay.
I think that
I don't know this.
You don't know Becky?
No.
Oh, I wouldn't even have thought to suggest this to you. Sammie, you will so much enjoy Becky. It came out a few years ago.
Okay. Listen, every once in a while, something gets past me, okay? I certainly wouldn't have been able to tell you when it came out.
This is when he entered his anti-blart era.
Yeah, I think it was him trying to be like, all right, I'll do one serious role and then right back to the sailor
I
stuff.
love it when like someone like Kevin James plays something like a Nazi.
Uh-huh.
It's so fun.
Just like swastika tattooed on the back of his bald head, Nazi.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not actually cool. Like, there's
No.
so many Nazis that look like Kevin James. And there's nothing cool about that.
Yeah, let's take a stand and make sure people know that we are not condoning.
Kevin James as a Nazi, and then I'm like, you can see an identical view if you just look for Nazis. So, all right.
All right. Well, that was great talk, everybody.
8:30, Nick.
I know. I knew this was going to happen tonight. I hope we're I will move through. Thank you all for being here. You all know how to play the game. You've played it a million times. If you're new to this, here's what's going to happen tonight. I have gone to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and I have pulled parental warnings for a bunch of movies that have sequels that I think you might not know about. I don't write these parental warnings. They're anonymous weirdos who provide endless content for this silly little show we do. I'm going to read these parental warnings. My friends here are going to try to figure out what movies these are from. Like Sammie said, it is 8:30, so let's jump into the game. And to do that, Connor, I'm going to go to you first. Would you like a movie from 1976, 1999, or 2006?
1976.
1976. First movie of the night for 1976 for 5 points under the category of sex and nudity. Most of the sex in this movie is just nudity. Most of the sex in this movie is just nudity. Elsie has a guess. JD has a guess. Anybody else want to guess? JD, what do you think this? Okay, no?
Never mind.
All right. Elsie, what do you think this movie is?
The Godfather.
I would expect you know that The Godfather has a sequel. It is not The Godfather.
Does it?
Yeah, it has one sequel. Exactly one sequel.
Is it Godfather 3?
Godfather 3. Just get right. I don't need to see the past. The past is the past. Show me the future of Michael Corleone.
All it was death.
For 4 points under the category of frightening and intense scenes, there is a lot of blood in this film. It may be unsettling for those who are uncomfortable at the sight of blood. Sammie has a guess. Anybody else? Sammie, what do you think this movie is?
I don't actually like. Listen, I'm going. These aren't exactly. I'm gonna say. And listen. Like I'm surprised. I think people should know that there's a sequel, but like, is this The Hills Have Eyes?
It is not The Hills Have Eyes.
There is a Hills Have Eyes too, and not the remake sequel. Like the
that is a good guess.
Craven didn't like the sequel. He was like, "Fuck that movie."
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a woman is a religious zealot who verbally, emotionally, and even physically abuses her daughter. This may be intense for some viewers. See 2 hands up. I see everyone but Sammie up.
Not when that came out.
I actually know this for a fact.
All right, JD, what do you think?
This is, of course.
I do know that.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Sammie, what do you think?
Listen, I got confused for a second, and I thought we were saying and I'm just
sequel?
like, that's not when Carrie 2 came out. I'm just like, oh no, it's Carrie. Yeah. It's Carrie.
JD, what do you think?
It's Carrie, of course. As he said,
LC?
Rage, baby.
Connor?
I believe this is Storm of the Century writer Stephen King's first novel, Carrie.
Yep, it came out 23 years later. The Rage, Carrie 2. This is Carrie.
It's such a wonderful movie. It's fucking bad.
No, this was one that I'm like, well, I know Sammie has seen this, but I think as the whole, if you told the regular movie-going audience, hey, did you know there's a sequel to Carrie that came out in the 90s?
I mean...
Also in Carrie, under violence and gore, a teen girl is doused in blood. And frightening and intense
I saw
scenes.
that sequel when I was 7.
Oh, no.
Or however old I was. I don't know. I was younger than I should have been. Like,
I saw
whatever year that came out, I was the age I was.
I saw most movies when I was 7 or whatever age I was when I saw them. Frightening and intense scenes. A teen girl massacres the people at a prom using her telekinetic powers. This may be frightening for some viewers.
Especially if they're bullies.
Connor and JD tied in first place with 3 points. LC and Sammie tied in second with 2 points. JD, would you like a movie from 1942, 1995, or 2001?
JD would like to.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
95.
95.
Let's do 95. Yeah.
All right. 1995 for 5 points under violence and gore. You're going to love this. Reckless driving. LC has a guess. Anybody else? What do you think, LC? Hold on, JD. What do you think? What do you think has reckless driving in 1995?
I'm gonna say Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
LC, what do you think?
I'm gonna say Jumanji.
It is not Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It is not Jumanji.
One of these days, I am gonna guess Jumanji, and it's gonna be Jumanji.
I really hope so.
You can make it happen, Nick.
For 4 points under sex and nudity, not as crude as the first one.
Okay, so it's already a sequel. Okay,
It's already a sequel that might have another sequel you might not know about.
Huh. All right.
For 3
And
points,
it's not as crude.
for 3 points
as the
under
first
violence and gore, lions are shown eating a zebra. A man has blood on his mouth as he pretends to eat with them. LC has a guess. Anybody else?
A guess.
Connor has a guess. Connor, what do you think this movie is?
Is this Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls?
LC, what do you think?
I don't think, Nick. I know it's Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Yeah, never gonna do the first one on this show. This
Why
is
did they
Ace
made a
Ventura.
third one? Why?
It came out in 2009.
It's like his
So
kid,
14
right?
years later, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective Jr. About Ace's son. Ace doesn't show up in the movie. He isn't in the kid's life.
That's the
but
best
the
part
kid
of that
just
movie.
dresses up like him and is like a junior pet detective. Never seen it, but it
Him not
does
being
exist.
in it is the best part of that movie.
Also in When Nature
That's
Calls,
so sad.
under frightening and intense scenes, a scene where the main character enters a hunter's trophy room with animal heads on the wall is shot in such a disorienting way that may prove scary to younger viewers. And Sex and Nudity, the main character is inside a controllable rhino. The fan stops working and he gets sweaty. He takes off his clothes. We see him taking off his underwear and his rear is shortly shown with his legs in the air. He then wants air and climbs out of the rhino's rear and gets out naked, and his rear is shortly shown more than in the previous time. Not graphic at all. Just listening to these people describe these scenes.
In hindsight, reckless driving really should have tipped that one off.
Connor, first place with 6 points. LC is at 4. JD and Sammie tied at 2.
Woo!
Yeah.
LC, would you like a movie from 1958, 1973, or 1982?
1973.
1973. For 1973, for 5 points under profanity, a woman says, "Oh my goodness," at 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 35 seconds. That's pretty much it. For 4 points under
What year is
frightening,
this?
1973. For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, the main character is a truly sad character himself. For 3 points under, JD, what do you think this movie is?
Oliver Twist.
It is not Oliver Twist.
This is 73.
73.
Okay.
For 3 points
the
under
sequel.
violence and gore.
More porridge.
The main character is almost beheaded at the beginning of the film. For 2 points under sex and nudity, a character is shown with an egg sac throughout the movie. Baby spiders are later shown coming out of the sac at the movie's ending.
Oh, yes, I know this. Wait, I can't put it won't let me. There we go.
I see everyone but Connor.
I do know
All
this
right,
sequel.
Sammie, what do you think?
Charlotte's Web.
JD?
Charlotte's Web.
LC?
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, this movie came out in 73. The sequel came out in 2002 called Charlotte's Web 2, Wilbur's Great Adventure.
Some fucking pig.
He is what a sad protagonist.
What a sad character.
Oh.
Oh.
That they had to scrap
It's like-
that web. And
It's like the
start-
anti-babe,
That
isn't it?
character was not.
You know, I had a weird lesbian crush on Charlotte that I'm not prepared to fully go into at this time.
Yeah, we all did, JD.
Okay, cool.
I don't think the lesbian part
Yeah,
is the
the lesbian
weirdest part
part
of
is
having
not.
a crush on an animated spider.
Oh, yeah, like no one was turned on by the fox and Robin.
Okay, that's a mammal.
It's a mammal that walks on 2 legs.
And it's okay. No, well,
That
Charlotte's
Shirley,
Web, I'll give her
she
that. She
had
doesn't
beautiful-
face, so
She had beautiful blue eyes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, it also is,
Right.
it's Debbie Reynolds, and she has a very sweet voice.
Listen, I fell through the spider disguise is all I'm saying. That's how strong the queer was, okay?
Other clue in that under frightening and intense scenes, the theme of the film is that the main character is afraid that he will die in the fall and be turned into smoked bacon and ham. There are some very sad scenes relating to this plot line in the movie. Connor and LC tied in first place, 6 points each. Sammie at 4, JD at 3.
Woo!
Sammie, would you like a movie from 1982, 1996, or 2002?
What was the first one?
82.
That one.
All right. From 1982, for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, there is an unbelievable amount of violence.
Huh.
What year?
82. For 4 points under violence and gore, when a character is caught in a cage, she cuts herself trying to escape and bleeds. Blood is shown.
There we go.
Sammie has a guess. Anybody else? Sammie, what do you think this movie is?
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the sequel came out, but I'm gonna say Blade Runner.
It is not Blade Runner.
Okay.
Got the right year, though, I think.
Yeah. It's rare that I do that, Nick.
Yeah, that's
I know. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, the Great Owl, while not a villain, is still very frightening.
Oh, fuck. God.
Connor has a guess.
JD
JD has a guess. Sammie has a guess. Everybody but LC. All right, Sammie, what do you think this movie is?
Secret of Nim.
JD?
I'm gonna say The Secret of Nim.
Connor?
I'm also going to say The Secret of Nim.
17 years later, in 1998, came The Secret of Nim 2, Timmy to the rescue. This is The Secret of Nim.
That sounds like such a made-up name.
I don't know. Come up with something like Timmy to the rescue, but something better.
Never got to.
Also in Secret of Nim, under frightening and intense scenes, 2 characters are chased by Dragon the Cat, who's designed to feel as monstrous and menacing as possible. And Sex and Nudity, a character is in a scene without her red coat. She's covered in fur, which is how humans see mice.
That is not true.
Don't you tell me how I see mice, damn it.
Don't you tell me how I see mice.
Connor in the lead all by himself at 9. 3-way tie for second place. 6 all around for JD, LC, and Sammie.
Woo!
I think this is the closest this game's been in a while. Connor, I believe we're back to you. Would you like a movie from 1982, 1996, or 1997?
Ooh! I guess 90. Oh, shit. Let's go 7. Why not?
97. From 1997 for 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking. A man offers cigars to several porters and lights them for the men and himself, and later is seen with another cigar.
What's that movie called? God damn it.
Well,
No, I'm good.
Does anybody want to guess?
The fuck?
All right.
What year? This is
97.
Okay.
Oh, the answer I just came up with is fucking ridiculous.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, a man swings a rope bridge back and forth, and a porter falls from it toward the river several hundred feet below. The narrator, however, quickly chimes in, quote, "Don't worry, no one dies in this story. They just get really big boo-boos." And the porter is later seen and appears to be okay.
Huh.
Connor has a guess. Anybody else? Connor, what do you think this movie is?
This is A Shot in the Dark. The Whales, Brendan Fraser's George of the Jungle.
6 years later, they made George of the Jungle 2 with only Thomas Hayden Church and I think John Cleese returning.
Holy shit.
And I think the little kid from 2.5 Men plays the son of George and Ursula. Yep. There's a George of the Jungle 2.
I blocked out that entire movie. I was never gonna get that.
Oh, I rewatched this movie in the last couple of years, and it holds up. It is way more funny than it deserves to be.
Wow.
Also, in George of the Jungle,
Brendan Fraser will never do anything better than Encino Man. I'm kidding. I'll leave.
Encino Man's fun.
He will, but only because he is great, and not because Encino Man is not super funny.
Under sex and nudity, a scene where a man has exited the shower and is all wet with camera cropped above his waist. A woman uses an album cover front and bowl to cover back, giving glimpses of his behind. The abs / side is exposed as he exits. Violence and gore, a woman says to a man that she will remove the reason why he is wearing a loincloth. And violence and gore, a lot of slapstick violence with the main character violently crashing into trees. A lot of punching scenes. He gets punched and punches a lot.
You should watch out for those trees.
I know.
By the way, sorry. I heard 97, so my mind's kind of thinking that. And then you said porters, gentlemen giving cigars to porters, porters, cigars, gentlemen. And I'm going 97. I go Titanic. Gotta be fucking Titanic. That sequel is incredible. Anyway.
Connor's at 13. Everyone else is at 6.
They all come back as zombies. That's great.
When you said the narrator, I was like, I think
you want to let go.
There is a movie called Titanic 2 that I think came out on the Sci-Fi Channel maybe 10 years ago. That is about them building a second ship called Titanic 2, and bad things happen.
Who would have thunk?
It's like that Futurama episode. Titanic.
JD, would you like a movie from 1969, 1973, or 1987?
These are all terrible choices, Nick. Would you like this bad choice? This not good choice, or please have a sampling of some of our worst choices for you, particularly.
So you don't want any of these years?
It's like 87.
87.
Good year.
I'm not gonna get it.
From 1987, for 5 points under violence and gore, a lamp shorts out during a thunderstorm. Sammie has a guess. A lamp shorts out during a thunderstorm under violence and gore.
Under violence and gore.
All right. Sammie, what do you think this movie is?
Okay. I don't think this is the year that this movie came out. But I know there's a sequel to this movie. And there's a lamp in it. Brave Little Toaster.
There are 2 sequels to Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah!
Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue 10 years later in 97. And then the Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars in 98.
Nice.
Oh, look who's competitive again, Nick. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get. Am I going to be competitive, or am I going to try and get the worst score and then give up at -8?
Honestly, as the scores stand right now, way more competitive than I thought this group of people would be. So I am thrilled.
Wow.
Jamie, that was solid. That was good.
Excellent choice. Also in Brave Little Toaster, under frightening and intense scenes, the characters fall off a cliff into a river and struggle against the current, but are gradually rescued by another character. Sex and nudity, there are a bit of lyrics in the song Worthless that mentions there were bikinis and buns filled with weenies. Believe me, you couldn't forget.
Nick, I will give you just because you try really hard not to give people movies that I hosted a show where this was a movie option. So I knew that But like, listen, now that you're saying them, I recognize all of those. So I would have gotten it eventually. Didn't recognize the first one. So
I really should be better at listing those in. But still, you knew it from knowing it. Violence and gore, the vacuum defecates behind a tree. Afterward, one character
I definitely would. I remember. I will never forget that.
Over the head for trying to peek behind the tree. And violence and gore, the main characters are shown from outside getting tossed into a dumpster by the modern appliances.
Oh.
Connor's at 13, Sammie's at 11, JD and LC at 6 each. LC, would you like a movie from 1998, 2003, or 2006?
1998, please.
1998. I'm sorry. Josh Poirier's in the comments with Titanic, First Blood Part 2, and Brave Little Toaster, First Blood Part 2.
That movie's great.
That was my favorite one, Josh.
This one from 1998 for 5 points under profanity. One character calls another character a, quote, chicken boy. Vulgar slang for coward, catamite, both. And one character calls another character a, quote, limp noodle.
What year is this?
98.
What?
98.
98, okay.
Elsa, JD, what do you think this movie is?
98?
Uh-huh.
Limp noodle. God damn, where do I know that from? Oh, that's driving me nuts. You limp noodle. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's... God, it's driving me nuts because I can see the character and I can't think of like the name of the, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm staring at the character and it's all Olympic and all. And it's driving me nuts. Okay, there's only one thing to do.
All right, bye, JD. LC, what do you think this movie is?
I didn't realize it had a sequel, but this has to be As Good as It Gets.
It is not as good as it gets.
Oh, boy.
For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the main character's father is indicated to be drinking some kind of medicinal tea under his doctor's orders, possibly some herbal form of heart medication.
Huh.
JD has buzzed in again. I hesitate to say that they have a guess, but they have buzzed in.
How the fuck do I?
All right, JD, what do you think?
Trash.
What was that?
Trash.
One more time. I can't hear you.
Trash. It's trash. It's trash.
Trash?
Crash.
Crash? It's not Crash.
Oh, the sequel to that movie.
Another like limp noodle and whatnot.
Yeah, those are the worst insults people are called in Crash or Chicken Boy and
But
Limp
it
Noodle.
started a conversation.
Her hand's still up. It doesn't matter if you leave.
Okay, for 3 points under sex and nudity. Immediately after a young woman says the following quote, "I never want to see another naked man again," a whole flock of fully nude men jump into a lake for a bath, but nothing too explicit is shown since they were running very quickly. JD has a guess. Anybody else?
I can't think of the title. Go for it, JD.
You know exactly what it is.
What is it?
Me?
Yep.
It's Mulan.
Fuck!
6 years later came Mulan 2. This is Mulan.
Oh, God. I'm ashamed.
Yeah, if you want a sequel after Mulan where they're like, what if Mulan didn't have any of the agency she has in the first movie and is just like preparing for a wedding, then Mulan 2 is the movie for you.
And if you want to see her die,
that's like the executives who are like, what? A trans narrative? Whoa, that's not what we meant at all.
I mean, if you want to take it the dying of consumption route, you could always go Moulin Rouge.
If you actually look at like the real like legend of Mulan, Mulan, that is 100% a trans narrative.
I bet. Also in Mulan, under frightening and intense scenes, a sequence involving a burned village and slaughtered army may be too intense and frightening for very young children, though the vast majority of the carnage is implied rather than shown. And sex and nudity, one of the main character's ancestors mentions that another ancestor of hers is a crossdresser by saying the word crossdresser outright.
But the legend ends with Mulan going on to live the rest of Mulan's life as a man, and because of that being shunned by everyone. And I'm just like, oh, so it's about a trans man who saved everyone and got shit on. Like that's
Also, one more from Josh. JD's answer, First Blood Part 2.
What?
Josh is having fun. Connor's at 13.
JD.
Sammie is at 11. JD is at high score of 8 right now. LC
Yay!
at 5.
That's the
I'm
best
still
I've ever
listening.
done.
You are. This is anybody's game.
Okay.
Sammie, would you like
Yeah.
a movie from 1942, 1999, or 2001?
1942.
1942. 1942 for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes. Lightning can frighten smaller children. Connor has a
You
guess.
can't let that happen.
Connor, what do you? Oh, okay. Sammie's gonna.
Wait, what's the year of this?
1942, and now you're the
And
only one who hasn't busted. Why not? JD, what do you think this movie is?
Oh, I have to go first?
You sure do.
Okay. Can you say it once more? I'm trying to figure out what Disney movie I'm throwing out there.
1942, lightning can frighten smaller children.
Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do,
I've changed my mind.
Okay.
you know what? I'm
Good
just
luck,
gonna-
everyone.
All right. Well, LC, we're up to you now. What do you think?
I'm just gonna go with Casablanca because I know that movie is from around then.
Connor, what do you think?
There is a sequel.
I was either going with As Good as It Gets or Frankenstein, which is not the right year. So we'll go with Frankenstein.
It is not Frankenstein. It is also not Casablanca, which I think we.
I was
in your
originally
last
going
episode,
to say Bride
LC.
of Frankenstein,
Yeah,
which
so?
was also before that. So Frankenstein was definitely before that.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, creepy music plays whenever man is coming closer. Though we never see man, it's implied in a frightening way and may be scary to children.
Huh.
Wait,
Nick, are you saying that you won't reuse a movie if a movie's been used before?
There are some reused movies in this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Hopefully none. I did make a mistake with Brave Little Toaster apparently, but hopefully no more that any of you have played before. But yeah, I think this movie's been used before this year. I went back and picked some out just because this category lended it.
Yeah.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, a character turns rigid and blushes before falling over when a female skunk touches him on the nose.
Oh! Where's the fucking...
All right. Sammie, what do you think?
Actually, I can't remember if this is the movie I want, if I'm saying the right movie or not. I know I can put it together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be really mad, but have fun.
Conor, what do you think?
I'm keeping this 11, you know.
Is it Bambi?
JD, what do you think?
So
Yeah.
if we're talking about 1942
Uh-huh.
and we're talking about skunks, then
Mhm.
what we're really talking about is that those skunks are in fact Twitter painting, which is a term from the 1942 Disney classic Bambi.
Yep.
LC, what do you think?
Also Bambi.
This movie, let's see,
I'm scared of
64
losing
years
this 11,
later.
okay? And now everyone's ahead of me, and it's fine.
64 years later, in 2006, they made Bambi 2,
We were finally ready for it.
which
Yeah.
takes place in between Bambi, with Bambi growing with his father, played by Patrick Stewart.
I'll be honest, I'm not right. Wait, Patrick Stew? Okay, I
Yep.
could be ready for that.
Patrick Stewart as the prince of the forest.
That guy's got
I
range.
mean,
Fuck. That's good.
I kind of need to see this now because if Patrick
Ow.
Stew is,
Hmm.
I mean, the force is in good hands with Patrick Stew.
Wow.
Also in Bambi
Bambi
under
meet his
Frank.
dad at the
Patrick
end of
Stewart
Bambi?
bucks.
Yeah, I mean, his dad is like a figure in Bambi that they don't really interact too much with,
You know,
Yeah.
like deer.
but it
Bambi's
passes
Dad's in
over that.
1942, yeah.
So he goes to live with his father after his mother dies, but he like grows up in Bambi
Okay.
and becomes an adult deer.
Aw.
Also, under frightening and intense scenes, there's a large forest fire which engulfs the animals' homes, causing them to cry out in fear and flee in frenzy. This may scare younger children, especially those afraid of fire or lava. And frightening and intense scenes, the scene where the main character's mother is shot and killed may upset smaller children or anyone. The death is not
Or
shown.
Sammy, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay, Sammy.
Connor's at
Sammy's right.
15. JD and Sammie tied at 11. LC at 7. This is such an exciting game. Still anybody's. 4 movies remain. 1 more for each of you.
Should I give a speech now while I'm at the highest I've ever been at? I think this is a good time. It all started when I was 3.
All right, Connor. Connor, would you like a movie from 1958, 1982, or 1996?
Let's try 96.
96. 1996 for 5 points under sex and nudity. A man's lust for a woman is a large theme in this movie.
What's the year?
96. A man's lust for a woman is a large theme in this movie. JD, you do still have your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as you know. JD, what do you think this movie is?
You know, I can't be sure. I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna hear the 4th one.
Sammie, what do you think this movie
I
is?
have my year wrong, I think.
Do you want to take a guess?
I'm
or
not
do you want
confident about the year. I want to hear the 4th thing.
Yeah.
For 4 points under... Oh, Connor's going to guess after all that. Connor, what do you think this movie is?
Dumb and Dumber.
It is not Dumb and Dumber.
All right.
That was fun to watch, though. Thank you for that.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a battle scene between the peasants and the soldiers. No one is shown getting killed.
Did you say that once more?
A battle scene between the peasants and the soldiers. No one is shown
This is
getting
exactly
killed.
what I thought it was. was very
All right,
excited.
JD, what do you think this movie is?
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
LC, what do you think?
I also think Hunchback of Notre Dame.
We just so happened to do 3 Disney movies in a row. Sequel came out 6 years later.
You know,
Hunchback
Disney
of
movies
Notre
are my
Dame 2.
weakness. I was just like, I don't fuck with Disney.
Oh yeah.
With Disney hard. Thank you so much, Disney.
Like
I'm
I've seen
gonna
them
get
all,
my
but I don't
speech now.
remember a fucking thing about any of them.
Have I taken over first place? Let's do this thing.
You're ahead of me.
You're ahead of me. JD, your
I'm
speech
gonna
fucking
do
works.
more Disney movies and I can win. Come on, Nick, let's
I
do this
think you're winning
together.
Also in Hunchback of Notre Dame, under frightening and intense themes, the villain claimed the hero is an unholy demon and plans to send it back to hell where it belongs. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a gargoyle smokes a sausage like a cigar. And sex and nudity during a musical number entitled Hellfire. He sees a curvaceous apparition of a woman and sings, quote, "The fire in my skin, the burning desire is turning me to sin." And he states, "Be mine or you will burn." This is such a dark movie with George Costanza as a gargoyle doing shtick.
Demi Moore plays Esmeralda.
That's true. Demi Moore, Kevin Kline's in it. Like, it's a good cast.
It's a good movie.
I'm thrilled to say this. JD, you're in first place.
Hell yeah.
15 points.
Speech
Nice.
works.
Connor's at 14. Elsie and Sammie both at 11. Again, any of these can switch the order.
I've never seen Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I don't know if you're missing anything.
Oh,
No, I can watch the
This is
sequel.
my lead right now, Nick.
Watch Hellfire. Go watch that video, and it is something else for a villain song in a Disney movie, for a religious
Hellfire
man to be
is
singing how
amazing.
he wants to just fuck.
Who
I
plays
mean,
Frollo?
up until the end, they're very true to the book, it sounds.
I forget who does that. That is
The book is so much more fucked up. I promise. I do.
yeah, there is no talking gargoyles doing shtick in the book.
Yeah.
And Quasimodo's not cute in the book.
3 movies
No.
remain. JD, would you
Yes,
like a movie from 1982, 1996, or 2002?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to use my lead to pause the game indefinitely. We have a really good round, everyone.
So for 82, 96, or 02, JD.
JD, we have
So
a mic at
good.
10. You can't hold us forever.
96. Oh, that's right. The hot
96. All right, 1996 for 5 points under sex and nudity. A teenage boy and a teenage girl make out in a bed, and both of them were about to have sex, but are interrupted by another teenage girl.
But are interrupted?
They are interrupted right before they're about to have sex.
What year?
96.
90. A girl and a dude, and they're about to do it, but a girl rushes in and she kind of ruins their time. She's
All
like,
right.
homie, what up?
LC, what do you think this movie is?
This seems like a movie that would have a sequel I never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Can't Hardly Wait.
That's a good guess. It is not Can't Hardly Wait.
I'm proud of my guess.
That's a really good
Great.
guess.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, a later scene involves hundreds of cockroaches, snakes, etc. You can't do an etc. after cockroaches and snakes.
Rats?
I don't know, maybe. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a man suffers a heart attack, coinciding with a microwave exploding. The man later dies from this incident. This is a bit disturbing.
Huh. I don't know what this is.
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes. A teenage girl's hair falls out of her head due to the fact that another teenage girl casts a revenge spell against her as a punishment for making racist remarks. The scene is a bit intense.
You won't put it up!
I'm going to save Sammie for last just because of that excitement. I want to hear it last. Connor, what do you think this movie is?
Probably got the year wrong, but I'll say The Craft. Oh, fuck. The Craft.
JD, what do you think?
Of course. Okay, listen. If we got spells where hair is coming out, I want you to know they didn't start there. Okay, they started innocent and cute, and when she would put her hair like that, it turned to a nice, soft red. Of course, we see in The Craft.
Yeah.
Elsie?
Yeah, The Craft.
Sammie?
Hogan, no, it's The Craft.
The sequel came out 2 years ago in 2020, The Craft Legacy. This is
wasn't
The
a
Craft.
sequel, wasn't a remake. I never really.
I mean, IMDb listed as a sequel,
It's
so I'm going to
literally
trust
the
them.
same movie. It's just...
There's one I didn't use because I couldn't figure out, but the movie Big Fat Liar. There's a movie called Bigger, Fatter Liar, which is the exact same plot but with a video game, and they appear to be not connected until somebody sued. That's just another one that I came across today.
So a filmmaker was like, let's make the same movie as this movie with 3 big, huge Hollywood names.
That was my introduction to Paul Giamatti, was that movie.
And the same. Oh my goodness. I want to do that. Okay, I'm going to make a movie called Titanic. And the body. Well, you know what the
Titanicer.
Orders. Yeah.
Bigger, fatter Titanicer.
Bigger, fatter Titanicer.
Last clue under violence and gore. A girl uses witchcraft to throw a boy out the window, killing him on impact. 2 movies remain. JD at 17, Connor at 16, Sammie at 13, Elsie at 12. 5 points separate first and last, which means you can get it on this one. Elsie,
oh my god.
Elsie, you get
do
to
you
pick.
realize I might win?
You might win with a real high score. But anybody might win with a pretty good score on this.
This is exciting. I'm excited.
LC, would you like a movie from 1969, 1973, or 2003?
I'm gonna go with 2003.
2003. Penultimate movie from 2003. Would help if I spelled something right. There we go. 2003 for 5 points under violence and gore. Numerous vehicular accidents with massive damage that in a real life would probably result in fatalities. They're treated as funny.
Quick, are there any Fast and Furious sequels?
Not a one. For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, some younger kids might find a chase sequence where the cops chase the 2 main characters in their truck and then on foot through a warehouse as suspenseful. But it's all played for action comedy.
People in a truck.
2003. Okay.
2003 for 3 points under sex and nudity.
Truck movie.
A man approaches, I do have to read this. A man approaches a woman who he had groped while thinking she was a mirage. She jokingly gasps and covers her breasts with her arms. A man
I don't like this movie.
No, nor should you. A man approaches a woman who he has groped while thinking she was a mirage. She jokingly gasps and covers her breast with her arms. All right, LC, what do you think this
Oh,
movie
I
is?
might have a guess, but go ahead.
I like this movie, so it might be the wrong movie.
Wait.
But
all right, hold on. Sam is gonna go and try to take this.
I don't remember. I never saw this movie. I don't remember anything about this movie. This is 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know anything about this movie. Is this Monkey Bone? I don't know what that is, but
LC, what do you think?
okay, I think Monkey Bone is from like 02 or something. And I only never mind. My guess, Bad Santa.
It is not Monkey Bone. Bad Santa is a great guess, and I should have thought of it, but it is not Bad Santa.
There is a sequel.
Sammie, I'm very curious what you would think of Monkey Bone. It is a weird movie. I think
Henry... but it's not that movie, so it doesn't matter.
Henry Selick's only live action movie.
Yeah. This is a Brendan Fraser heavy night.
It great. Sure is. As all nights should be.
Oh yeah.
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, it's painfully obvious that this film was edited down from an R rating to a PG rating. It is painfully obvious this movie was edited down from an R rating to a PG rating.
Car crashes, groping.
I mean, that's 2003.
Right?
I mean, yeah, this is
everything that happened in a 2003
This is such a 2003 movie. All right, final clue for 1 point. Under violence and gore, 2 men accidentally hit an animal with their vehicle and appear to have killed it. As one of the men then decides to dress it in his jacket, the scene turns humorous when we see that the animal is not dead and rather hops off with their money.
Oh.
I see everyone but JD.
Gross.
Sammie, what do you think this movie is?
Do you have, just from hopping, I've never seen this movie either. Is this Kangaroo Jack?
Connor, what do you think?
I've never seen this movie either. Is this Kangaroo Jack?
LC, what do you think?
I haven't seen this movie, but it seems like it's maybe Kangaroo Jack.
Wow, we were just handing JD a win tonight.
I was so excited when you said that you like this movie. I thought, do you like Kangaroo Jack? No, the sequel was course correction because they marketed Kangaroo Jack as a fun family movie with a talking kangaroo. The kangaroo talks once during a dream sequence. So
we really don't know the kangaroo's motivations.
11 years later, they made an animated movie called Kangaroo Jack Good Day USA, where Kangaroo Jack is now an animated talking character.
They made 3 Crocodile Dundee movies. Please don't tell me they made 4. Please don't tell me that.
No, they made 3.
Okay, thank God.
Fun fact, I've only seen the 3rd one.
Oh, you need to fix that.
You've chosen well.
Those first 2, they're not good, but they have a place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
1 movie remains. Connor and JD, 17 points. Sammie, 13 points. LC,
coming for
12 points. There's still 5 points. We could end up with a 3-way tie if LC gets this 5-point clue.
All
Sammie,
right.
you get to pick this movie. Would you like a movie from 1958, 2001, or 2006?
You know what? I'm gonna fuck everyone over. What's the first year?
58.
1958. I don't need to win.
1958. I have a feeling this 5-point clue isn't going to help. Under violence and gore, total body count 5. 5 people died in this movie. Okay, I mean, you gotta. LC, what do you think?
I don't know what year movies come out.
I know it's from the 50s.
You sure
and
do.
I know it has a sequel, and I know 5 people die. Is it Singing in the Rain? Steve Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and the previously mentioned great Debbie Reynolds. It really comes as a surprise.
Oh, I want wonderful answer. Unfortunately not. The body count in Singing in the Rain much higher.
Yeah.
If you take into account the rain.
Yeah.
For 4 points under sex and nudity, a man and a woman are making out at the start of the film. Mild kissing and not over the top. They are interrupted when they see a meteor. For 3 points under violence and gore. The monster slowly consumes a farmer, starting with his hand. Implied violence. If 3 hands up, and I really want to make it 4, so JD, you don't have any guesses? All right, JD, what is your guess? You are muted, JD.
That's okay. I was buying time. Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
I know what it is. Okay. But I'm not sure what the movie is actually called. So here we go.
Okay.
It's that slimy, sludgy thing that eats the people slowly. It's an alien. It's green and sludgy. And sludge tossing.
Oh. So are you going with sludge tossing?
No, it's the slime thingy.
Oh. I've never seen opponents want somebody to get an answer right so much.
It's Sammie helping.
Well, I do have to move on. I don't have anything.
It's that.
What would it be called?
It would be called the got a little something.
Everybody is shooting this into your brain. If nothing else, this proves that none of us have any sort of psychic ability.
Can I request that JD start giving a speech really quick again and see what happens? So go ahead. You are 3 years old.
Yeah, give the speech of having remembered.
Yes, it's going to spark.
Okay.
Thank us for sending beams into your brain.
Thank you for helping.
Right.
Oh my God.
Connor and Elsie and Sammie are like amazing, and so I just wanted to throw that out there. So y'all should like follow them on the social medias.
We're just going right to plugs. If we never finish the game, then we never have to declare that this is over.
Get your Venmo out there for the people. Why don't you go ahead and share that?
I think I'm gonna have to move on. I'm so sorry.
It's the slime. The slime.
I mean, they'll see. Can you put JD out of their misery?
Well, here's what I'm thinking is I would
Okay.
like to give a speech of my own. And I think it's only fair that should my speech be going before I guess, but while JD remembers, then it doesn't count. So I'm just gonna stand up here and for a while.
Just go blah 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 blah.
Just blah 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 blah. And
Which makes me think of the great bit from Arrested Development. They brought
blah blah blah.
Yeah, great.
Oh yeah, who was that
lawyer
guy?
named Robert
Guess
Blob.
the blob. I would guess the blob.
Oh, JD has a guess. Are you guessing the blob?
That was very rude.
I've never heard of this movie.
Hey, play me off if you must.
Elsie, I think we should probably finish up this game. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's the blob.
Connor, what do you think?
I gotta go with. I'll go with the blob. Yeah.
Sammy.
The blob.
I've never seen such teamwork in this show, meaning that this show is going to go on a little bit longer. Thanks for everybody dragging this out. I have to count it because everybody wants it to happen. This is the blob.
Yeah.
14 years later came
Oh my
out.
god, I did!
14 years later, 1972 was Beware! Exclamation point, the blob.
The blob. I knew what the sequel was called.
Several
That's
characters
just a
are
fan
eaten
fiction
by the
actor.
monster, including 2 on screen, many more implied deaths as the monster continues to grow and consume numerous on-screen victims. I don't know how numerous. I've heard that there are 5 deaths in this movie.
Yeah, but someone is dying the whole time.
The monster itself is frightening. It is a carnivorous, amoeba-like, single-celled monster from outer space
blob,
that
would you
devours
say?
the victims whole, enveloping and digesting them completely. Its victims are eaten alive and express genuine terror.
You know, that
before they are
blob
consumed.
has feelings.
I can't believe we're doing this, but we are doing it because we have to, because we cannot have a tie in first place. Right now, Connor and JD both have 20 points, which means we are doing one final sudden death round just between JD and Connor. I randomize the movies. First one up is the movie we're doing. I'm going to read through the clues. Raise your hand when you think you know it. First person to raise their hand guesses. If you guess right, you win. If you guess wrong, your opponent wins. Everybody clear on these rules?
Yes.
Just Connor and JD. Final movie of the night that has a sequel you might not know about is from 2006.
Oh, Lord.
Under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, an animated little girl mentions that her dad gets mad after drinking in the morning.
Damn it.
Under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man mentions drunken trees, but assures the audience that the trees have not drunk alcohol. Frightening and intense scenes, a cartoon frog is used to illustrate reactions to changing environments. It is first dropped into a very hot water, where it hops out but almost dies. Then it's put into cold water and is slowly heated, but it's rescued before it is harmed in any way. Frightening and intense scenes. We hear people are dying from the greenhouse effect. We hear how so much damage can be done from global warming. Connor, to end this game, what do you think this movie is?
Is this An Inconvenient Truth?
The winner of the show tonight is Conor Shanahan. This is An Inconvenient Truth. 11 years later, they released an inconvenient sequel, Truth to Power.
Yes.
Final clue in that, under frightening and intense scenes, we see news footage of people fighting to survive global warming. Gore mentions the effects like floods and diseases popping up. I think that should be under violence and gore.
Ah!
That was An Inconvenient Truth. This was Inappropriate Movie Database. Our final scores tonight. Just amazing work, everybody. Elsie at 14, Sammy at 16, JD at 20, but Conor winning the game tonight also at 20. This is all around the highest scoring game we've had in a while, and I can't believe it was this category. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. This was such a delight. Before we go, if there's anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or any last words, Sammie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media at Sammie James. I run a bunch of Zoom shows. One of them is in 2 days on Saturday. The Badass Trans Women go on Eventbrite, get those tickets. Watch that show on Zoom. We just added the wonderful Nina Martinez to that lineup. It's going to be a good time. And then I run the waiting room the fourth Saturday of every month. That's a fantastic lineup this month. And I run 3 Zoom shows this month with the winner in all of our hearts. Okay, tonight, JT Stephans.
Nobody can argue that.
On the Halloween Zoom show, and Inappropriate Movie Database favorite Lloyd Legacy Sharp. Okay, it's gonna be a good time, and other people, but like, come on.
Hell yeah. JD, anything you want to tell people about?
Hi everybody, I'm JD. Let's see. Oh yes, I host a show called Mental Health Mondays. It kind of compete with Inappropriate Movie Date only once every 2 weeks, so it's okay, y'all. It's okay. This particular coming Monday, Sammie's actually going to be my guest. So we do that. I am booked through December, but if you're interested in being on the show, hit me up in my DMs. What else? Oh, I'm going to be on Sammie's Halloween show, so there's that as well. That's pretty much all from me. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. And if sometime after December you want me to take a Monday off of this show, I wouldn't mind doing that show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Legit.
That'd be great. Elsie, anything you want to tell people about?
Oh boy, that's a nice open-ended way of putting it. Well, listen, I have tentative plans with my friend Christopher to do an open mic next week. So come out, go to an open mic in the Boston area. Maybe I'll be at that.
Oh yeah.
Got
the scene has been missing in LC.
Aw. Yeah, so it's just the scene, but you take the letter C. L's. Okay, so I'm a little rusty, but I will be brushing up on my jokes somewhere in the Boston area. Also, I have an interview for an interesting job, and it's interesting because that's all I'm saying about it. But so like just general good vibes, and like just whether like if you just want to imagine me like shaking hands with like a faceless powerful person or something, just like picture me having a great interview next week. I
think you're gonna kill it at Tesla.
Oh my god. It's not that interesting. Like I'm not expecting to blow up.
Yeah, all of the good vibes sending your way. Finally, our winner, Conor. Anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, it's October, so go and visit Salem, Massachusetts. Last time I was on the show, I made a pitch to not visit, and our friend Marty that announced they were bound for Salem, and I felt like a real piece of shit. So come on down to Spooky Town, USA, and get the tourism going because they need the help.
Don't visit the Hocus Pocus house during off hours because the couple that lives there are in their 90s.
Right. I mean, a decade ago, it was fine. You could go any hour of the night.
They were in their 80s. It was fine.
Yeah. Say, where's Doug Jones, that tall son of a bitch? and they were fine with it, but they're nonagenarians now, and they're just too damn old for you folks to be there.
Yeah.
No, I'm great. I got nothing to plug ever, and JD fucking won tonight, so great, solid showing. That was that was a great game, everyone. So fuck yeah, Al Gore.
Agree. You all were wonderful. This was a delight. Thank you so much for doing it. Once again, Conor Shanahan, JD Stephans, LC Clark, Sammie James. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. If you are in the Boston or Brighton area, I will be doing a stand-up show with some wonderful people. A lot of people have been on this show. Tyler Derniak and Matt Shore run it. If you want information of that, I'm posting that on social media. I'd love to see you next Tuesday night, whatever that date is.
Oh, it's
the 11th. So look for that post if you want to see me and much funnier people do stand-up. That'll be a great place to go. Follow the show on Facebook, search Inappropriate Movie Database, or click the link in the description of the video. Twitter and Instagram at IMDb Game. We do this show 2 times a week, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel you're watching on. That's convenient. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTuber stuff. Next week, I'm so excited because I will not be hosting the show next week. Monday night, come back here on the 10th. Josh Poirier will be hosting Movies That Cut Onions, in his words. Which will be a thrill, and I'll get to play. And I think there's still a spot open. So if you want to play against me, that'd be a great show for that. And then on Thursday the 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, aforementioned Marty Viscosi is going to be hosting horror sequels. I'll be playing with that one. That one's filled up, but it's a great group of people, including Sammie. Please look out for those. Thank you so much.